This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Chico Maivia wants to know, what's the best joke a wrestler ever told you, and who's the funniest horseman? I'm sure he means besides yourself. We'll start with that one first. Who's the funniest horseman besides yourself?
In a dry sense, and you have to realize and be paying attention, he's got a joke. Dean Malenko's hilarious.
Yeah, I agree.
But as dry as you can possibly be. So you have to pay attention what he's saying to realize he just fired a joke off. What was the other part of the question?
What's the best joke a wrestler ever told you?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Well, let me go first while you think of one. Years ago, I heard, this is not an original joke, but to hear Ricky Morton deliver it, it tickled me. He said that for Valentine's Day, he got his lady of many, many years flowers, and he brought home flowers after a long day at the school or whatever. And she said, "Oh, roses. I guess you want me to spread my legs, huh?" And Ricky said, "Well, honey, I was thinking we'd use a vase."
Okay.
All right, now your turn.
You didn't think I was going to bite on that, did you?
I knew you weren't going to sell it with a laugh, but I'm going to laugh for both of us because that shit tickled me. You got to appreciate Ricky Morton delivering it. It's fucking hysterical.
Let me put it this way. I just had the pleasure of being around Ricky and Robert, and they are still telling the same jokes. Now, this is not, you take it for what it's worth, okay? And that same joke was played on me, if you look at it that way, probably the first month that I knew those guys. We're backstage. Robert walks up. He looks behind me. He goes, "Those new shorts?" And I got on my khaki Bermuda shorts. I went, "No." He says, "Well, tag's still on them." "Well, that's just to get you to turn around and to see that your tag's out." And it's not. It never has been. It's his joke. He told that same joke 30 years later. And apparently he's going around and Ricky telling the same jokes in the locker room that they were telling 30 years ago.
And they're still funny, by the way. Like a few years ago, they were like working a show not too far. So they decided to stop by and hang out and have a few beers after the show. And as soon as Ricky gets downstairs, he says, "Your neighbor got a dog?" And I said, "Yes, sir." "Did he give you any trouble?" And he said, "No, just, it was, he's laying out there in your front yard licking himself." And I said, "Man, I wish I could do that." And Robert said, "That dog will bite the shit out of you." And I don't know why, but just
now that's funny.
I know they're corny, but man, when the Rock and Roll Express deliver them, it's better than a double drop kick. It's just, they're a comedy show and nobody really knows it. Well, I mean, you do, but they don't put that out there for everybody, but good Lord, they're hilarious.
That's funny. I'll take that.
Well, Kevin wants to know, who had the worst farts in wrestling? I'm thinking it had to be Big Show or Vader.
No, the Giant. From the noise, the flapping of the buttocks, and just engulfing the room. I'm talking about by the time he got done with his butt cheeks flapping, and I wish I could make that noise. You were already, by the time, if you took off running for the door, if the noise stopped, you were engulfed in the funk. And he had no rival.
To be clear, you're not saying the Giant in WCW, you're saying Andre the Giant, right?
Andre the Giant.
Yeah. Andy Gresh wants to know, why did every 80s wrestling promo, whether by a manager or a wrestler, have the phrase, "Let me tell you something" in it? It feels like all of them did.
Well, that's a great observation. I would suggest it just became habit, and one guy, kind of like guys doing the same moves and the same holds. they saw someone successful go that route, and maybe even subconsciously, they just figured that was the way you should do it. I never chose to do an interview like anybody else. I just wanted to tell my story and get what I was thinking about and planning on, and pretty much up front, and go from there. But hey, that's very interesting. It's, think habit more than anything.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.